there's something that's of a major concern to me. Over the last few days, I've seen petitions from Ghanaians who are resident outside the country.
Okay.
And who are in school because the government of Ghana decided to send them there to pay for their tuition and living allowances. But it would seem that consistently we are leaving these people in the lurch, and nobody seems to care about what they are going through. I think, look, it is becoming embarrassing seeing foreign universities write all kinds of rave reviews about the government of Ghana and our scholarship programs. If we do not have the money to send the students there, let's not send them. If we send them there, this is a republic. We generate money from this country every single day. There are things that we are doing that are, if you compare the two, are completely unnecessary. Yes, there's a case to be made for whether some of the things that people go to study outside are truly relevant for our purpose, or we should read those things locally. I mean, I will not go into those spaces. That's not why I'm raising the matter today. What I'm raising is that we cannot send people's kids out there to a strange land, to a foreign land, where they have no mother, no father, in some cases, uncles and family members who can easily support them. In fact, even where they can support them, it's difficult because the people they are going to see, they themselves are having difficulty. You evacuate these, countrymen and women from this country to another place, hoping to educate them, only for them to be going through hardship.
There's a story here that actually corroborates what you said. Let me just bring it to you quickly, and thank you for raising this. The minority in parliament is calling on the government to take immediate action to resolving a worsening financial crisis affecting Ghanaian scholarship beneficiaries, students studying overseas. Now, this is poignant for myself and Sky because we've studied abroad. And trust me, if you're studying abroad and money doesn't come, it's very bad. The caucus has expressed deep concern over distressing reports that government-sponsored students in countries such as US, the UK, and parts of Eastern Europe are facing threats of eviction, deregistration, and even deportation due to unpaid tuition and living expenses. Led by the MP for Finsu North and member for Education Committee, Dr. Fred Chea Samoa, the minority is urging swift government intervention to avert further hardship. Dr. Samoa appealed directly to the President, the Scholarship Secretariat, and the Education Ministry to act immediately to prevent further deterioration of the situation. The calls follow growing public pressure for government accountability regarding the welfare of students sponsored under the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat programs. Now, this is not the first time this has popped up in the news. This story is July 12. Prior to this, Ghanaian students are brought to picket at embassies over unpaid stipends. Fafakpotufe reports May 19 that Coalition of Ghanaian Students Abroad, beneficiaries of Ghana scholarships studying in various countries, have announced a planned demo on June 4 to protest the government's failure to pay long overdue stipends and allowances. The students, who include beneficiaries of Ghana Scholarship Secretariat foreign scholarships, say they've gone 14 months without receiving their monthly stipends, while book and health allowances have not been paid for 2 academic years. In a joint statement issued by reps across Europe, North America, and Asia, the students accused the government of abandoning its obligation to support studies, despite repeated appeals and diplomatic engagements. The coalition insisted that the demonstration is a peaceful assembly aimed at drawing attention to their prolonged hardship and demanding accountability. Another story, just to tell you how serious this is, Ghanaian students abroad call of planned demo, side pressure from embassies. Okay, so that was a sort of follow-up one.
I have a story related coming from the University of Memphis. This was reported by My Joy Online on July 5. It says Memphis University threatens to drop Ghanaian scholarship students over unpaid fees by the government. The University of Memphis has issued a stern warning to Ghanaian scholarship students after the Ghanaian government failed significantly on the fee payments. Under the Ghana government scholarship scheme, 185 Ghanaian students in the US have received full scholarship. However, the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat is reportedly in arrears to the tune of $3.6 million, having paid just $400,000 to date. Officials at the university are reportedly exerting pressure on the studentship scheme, cautioning that outstanding fees could result in the withdrawal of student enrollment ahead of the fall 2025 semester. Should the outstanding balance remain unsettled, these students may face not only suspension from academic programs, but also the revocation of their student visas, with the attendant risk of deportation.
It's interesting because the GET Fund had earmarked 266.2 million Ghana cedis for continuing and new beneficiaries of its scholarship. And we understand this figure is about 90.2 million Ghana cedi increase on the previous year's allocation. You do know that the government has presented a bill to transform the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat into an authority. So I'm surprised that we are still having these issues.
The last time a payment was supposedly made was September last year, where Scholarship Secretariat said it had secured 50 million cedis for students in abroad. We'll speak to the authorities hopefully this morning to get an update on that for you, Sky. Thanks for raising this matter.
Yeah, I meant harsh reviews, not rave reviews.
It's all right. So what I want to do is, if I get the official or appropriate authority on this, we'll put them on the line to talk to us about this. All right, let's turn our attention to the scholarship story. Richard Sky was saying that a number of students abroad have raised concern over what they describe as government neglect in paying their stipends and fees for tuition and also for room and board, as they call it. Peter Notsu-Kotoe is MP for Akachi North. He's also the chair of the Committee on Education. Good morning, Mr. Notsu-Kotoe. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, and how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. So, I'm sure this has come to your attention, the plight of Ghanaian scholarship students abroad. What do you know of this, and can the Committee of Education in Parliament help?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners and viewers. It is true that government owes students stipends and fees. But this matter started last year, especially around June, July, when reports reaching the Committee on Education then, last Parliament, that some students were being turned away from lectures. They were being asked to return to the country. And we had to invite the registrar of the Scholarship Secretariat. Initially, he did not want to cooperate with us because he felt that the Scholarship Secretariat was not under the Ministry of Education. It was directly under the Office of the President. So it had nothing to do with Parliament. So upon another request, he appeared before the committee and painted a very gloomy picture of what was happening at the Scholarship Secretariat. All had to do with a release of funds to enable the Secretariat to pay the allowances and fees of the students. But our investigation as a committee revealed that the number of students on scholarship abroad, as well as the amount involved and the courses they were going to read, and the nature of the program created the problem. For instance, there were so many of them on short courses to UK, US, 3 months, 6 months, ranging from 15,000 pounds to 25,000 pounds, $18,000, $25,000, short courses. And putting all that money together was so huge. So we spoke with the Minister of Finance then, and they promised to release some money to School Secretariat to enable them pay. We knew very well that they would not be able to pay all. And that has continued up to today. As I'm speaking with you, the School Secretariat owes about 40 million pounds or dollars to various universities in the UK and US. And the universities are beginning to blacklist Ghanaians from the universities in UK and US because of the sums of money owed. Some students have been asked to return to Ghana. Some are they have been ejected from their hostels and places of abode. So what is worrying now is we need to investigate very well how they got the scholarship. because we discovered that it was bedeviled with corruption and nepotism and cronyism. That is why His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has directed that the Special Secretariat should now go under the Ministry of Education for effective and efficient supervision. So the Minister for Education laid a bill on the Scholarship Authority, which was referred to the Committee on Education and then Public Administration and Special Interest. Yesterday we sat on the bill. We have made recommendations for amendments to the bill, and we hope that by the end of the week we should be able to pass the National Scholarship Authority bill to make room for a board to be responsible for the award of scholarships and streamline it.
So while you're doing that structural change, are you investigating or auditing the number of students on scholarship to ascertain whether they are all genuine? Is that the reason why payments have not been made?
Not necessarily, because if you inherit assets and liabilities, you need to investigate the consequence of those liabilities and assets. So as a scholarship secretary, you can't just start paying money if we don't know how the scholarship was awarded, what was the purpose. You need to know all those things. And you can also remember that when this government took office, it was not until after or at the end of March that we passed the appropriation bill. And monies will have to be released to various agencies. And my information is that the registrar is negotiating with some of the universities so that they can exercise patience or grant some moratorium to the students so that they can complete their courses, especially those who have about 3 even months to complete so that they can graduate and return home. As such Secretariat makes arrangements for the payment of their...
So is the committee actively working to ensure that payment is done with dispatch?
Yeah, we are in talk with the Such Secretariat because it's a very serious issue and involves a lot of money, as I said earlier. So yesterday we were together and we are hoping that when they finish with their investigations, where we have typical issues, like I said, some have only 3 months or less to finish their programs. Yeah, we should prioritize those areas and help them finish and return home.
But how does the change of the Secretariat to an authority transform it and reform it from some of the challenges? So what problem are you really trying to solve with this name change?
You know, the Secretariat as it is now does not operate under any board. It's just on its own. So whoever has the Secretariat could do anything. But if we have the board and we have criteria for the award of scholarship, then whatever applications are received will have to be vetted or approved by the board before it is granted, depending on what budgetary allocation has been given to scholarship secretariat or the authority for award of a scholarship. So it's not going to be like what used to be the case where scholarships were awarded or shared like Kelly Willing. It will not be like that any longer.
All right, thank you for your intervention, Honorable Peter Notsu-Kotoe, who's the chair of the Education Committee in Parliament and also a member of Parliament for Akachi North, confirming that the bill to transform the Secretariat into an authority had gone through some parliamentary work, and also assuring that work was being done to make the payment for the MPs. All right, so quick comments. Notsu-Kotoe is saying they have changed the Scholarship Secretariat or they are changing it into a authority. Hopefully that will make it more accountable. I'm not sure.
Make it an authority.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these name changes they don't really serve any, Food and Drugs Authority and all that. I was surprised to learn
that there wasn't a board at the Scholarship Secretariat and that the scholarship was just given out on whim by those who were leading.
There's a view that a lot of the people who are on scholarship were packed by the previous administration. Yeah. So there's some reluctance to pay. So there are always political undertones to these things. It's like, you know you are leaving power, then you just give people scholarships willy-nilly, and then now they are saying they have not been paid. You know, that kind of thing.
But then the innocent Ghanaian students who are out there will be paying the brand for this political cascade that's ongoing. But that is not entirely the case, because even when you roll back into time, every year there are international students, Ghanaian students abroad who are complaining. So maybe the numbers must have increased in the last couple of months before the previous government left, as we saw was the situation across institutions. But even so, these are our fellow compatriots who are particularly elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you're home and you are stranded. You can easily go to your uncle or call your friends and they can sort you out.
Yeah.
But to be out there in the cold or left to the vagaries of the world and you don't know where to get support, I think that's difficult.
I'm torn here because for me there's a feeling that this proliferation of, or this tendency of sending Ghanaians abroad to go study regular courses at
that are offered here,
high effects, is not sustainable. So I believe that there are some programs that we need to send people abroad to learn.
Correct.
So for example, if somebody wants to go and do a course in AI in a big university abroad because they are at the cutting edge, I don't have any problem with that. But this idea of sending Ghanaians to go and do masters in various fields that they can do at Gimpa, Legon, Tech, or Central, I think it defeats the purpose in two ways. Our private universities and our public universities also need those funds. And the amounts of money paid for these students abroad, if they are invested in our universities here, would help them actually do better. So I'm hoping that with the change of name and change of status, with the board coming in, they'll be more accountable, and that they would manage scholarships to the strategic needs of our country. So that's point number one. But I agree with Caleb. Once they've been given the scholarship and they're abroad, they should be send the money to finish the courses. So this reset should start with the new admin. But you cannot punish the iniquity of the fathers on the children. Once they are on scholarship in the universities abroad, they should be sent their money. All right, because I think there's money for that. It would be so unfair for someone to start a course in the UK or US, and then in the middle of the course you say they should come back because there's been a change of government, and that the government believes that they were not sent them on fair terms. I think that's not right. They should finish the program, find their way back to Ghana to serve, and then restructure the scholarship secretariat. I'm sure you agree with me.
I agree with you. I don't think that the points about cronyism and nepotism being used to award scholarships is adequate reason for the non-payment of some of these fees. I think that on the broader level, it's embarrassing for Ghana as a nation, for your debt collectors in academia or global academia to be coming after you or embarrassing and humiliating your students because you have failed to make these payments. At the end of the day, like you said, they are Ghanaians, they are there regardless, and so we need action.
And the other thing is that, it's one thing to say we've changed the secretariat to an authority. What I know is that in Ghana, a lot of people put pressure on these institutions by way of cronyism. So Sky will say, Charlie Alowski, you are head of scholarship secretariat, Charlie. 2 of my nephews, if I sort them out, give me, and I'll say, oh, Charlie Sky, they be my man, so I'll do for you. Or Francisca will say, Charlie Bernard, these people, they are something, it's always the problem of who you know. So if they can change it into an authority and make it more accountable, to make it fit for purpose, because scholarship secretariat, clearly there are people who deserve scholarship. I did my master's with a scholarship. It wasn't a Ghanaian government scholarship, it was a British government scholarship. And of course, they benefited from me after I went back. The question is, when you send somebody to scholarship in the US or UK, does the system even find a way of bringing them back to be useful?
It doesn't.
Because even for me, of course, nobody called me to do a debriefing, but I can tell you that the way the High Commission works and the programs they invite you to, they see you as an ally. You get it? And of course, if you are trained that way, it's a positive thing. You go to the UK to learn in a very good university, and it's a prestigious scholarship. So I don't have any problem with that. I feel like we are using our scholarships to just satisfy the needs of political friends. All right? And there were even people who were MPs who were benefiting from these scholarships. It's just not fit for purpose. So, meanwhile, you have private investors in Ghana who are struggling. Now, the no fee stress. Imagine if the private university students could also benefit. So let me give you an example. Somebody in Legon may be doing a course in psychology. Maybe school fees is 3,000 cedis. The equivalent in a private university may be 6 or 7K. And it's not only wealthy people who go to private universities. So I feel like the government should be able to say, whether you are in a public or private university, if I'm paying 1,800 for psychology, even if you're in a private university, you also get 1,800. Do you understand? So it's discriminatory to say you're only paying for people in public university. You can say the fee for social science is 1,500. If for Legon it knocks off your full fee, correct. If for Central it knocks off 30% of your fee, it's still some support. Because all of us are Ghanaians, and all of us cannot get a chance to go to Legon or Tech. So if you go to Central or Valley View or Ashesi, we should also benefit from that 1,500. You get it? That's why the scholarship secretariat should stop giving scholarships to people to go and study regular courses abroad. Because the amount of money you spend, Sky, you can pick one person's scholarship for a master's degree in the UK. It can pay for 25 Ghanaian students in undergraduate programs. So it's a completely unsustainable system. And it's not even about the name change and the authority and the fact that they have a board. The whole ethos, the law has to have details around resetting the scholarship secretariat thing.
Completely.
It's not fit for purpose. It's been abused.
Absolutely.
And as most things, politicians and their families and friends benefit more than the rest of us.
Zion,
So whilst I take your call,
Yes.
I feel like there's some change that needs to be done.
Yes, and then the fact that some people were awarded double scholarships.
Look at that.
You know, in the investigations that the Fourth Estate did, they pointed out that some of the beneficiaries had scholarship packages for different schools. They were pursuing different programs at the same time. And you know, in the University of Ghana, you cannot even do that. If you're not done with one program, you cannot move on to another. But how do we use state resources to fund double scholarships for one person?
In
And
the
then,
UK
like,
or
yeah.
No,
No, Sky. I'm
not
saying
possible.
that.
There's a reason why.
Okay, you
Because
there. Let me
when-
finish.
when you
Let
get
me
onto
let me
visa-
just land.
Okay.
Let him land.
Okay.
The investigation that the Fourth Estate carried out, focusing on the scholarship secretariat, exposed the fact that there were persons who had double scholarships.
As in running concurrently.
Yes.
No, not. Okay, I think they were awarded.
They were
But I
awarded.
don't know whether they were paid the money or the money was paid, because the investigation uncovered that there was fraud in that.
Okay, so unless you are talking about the two different streams of
So
funds,
there
are
was
coming
one
in
in
as
the
opposed
US,
to-
another in the UK.
Yeah, for some
So there's a
students.
particular case
Okay.
where a name is mentioned. The person received $38,000 for an MA in design management at Savannah College in the US in 2019, and then the following year, same person received $14,500 for an MA in visual.
so
So,
that
it's
is
not concurrent.
possible. Okay.
It's not
That's
concurrent,
what-
but
that's
in
what he
the
was
UK.
saying.
But I'm just trying to make the point
Okay.
that there was the case of double scholarships that came up very strongly, and also the point, Bernard, you made about government appointees benefiting from the scholarship scheme. I don't know, but increasingly we're seeing people who are supposed to be busy serving the nation, taking advantage of scholarship schemes that is meant
In
for
fact,
the poor to go abroad
it looks
to go
like
study.
there's a business
I don't get it.
where if you enter parliament and you don't get ministry work to do and you don't get anything to do, the next thing is to get a scholarship and take a course.
Yeah, because
So you are using your position as an MP to
get
further your
access.
education, because you don't have any business, any minister work.
Yeah, because there's a view that when the government is in power, and then they want people to fill positions, they ask for your CV, and when you bring your CV and it is SSE, or
So now that you are in the parliament, when you should be going to
yeah,
school.
why not use that to actually grow yourself? Often it also happens when you are in a position, in which case, because look, I mean, you are no longer in government, this is the opportunity for you to grow, so that when your government comes to power, your CV would have been enriched, so that when they ask for CVs, you will put your own inside
Get
there.
that
and you
PhD.
yeah, exactly. So that's what happens. It is. Look, it is not out of place for someone serving in office to be doing a part-time course. But what we are seeing is people running full-time programs, even as they are holding, in some cases, ministerial positions.
I'd not go lie you. They are doing PhDs at our expense.
So, that raises very serious ethical issues as to how you are even balancing your time in the first place. You understand? It's not part-time, full-time. You see people who are ministers become lawyers. Then you ask yourself, okay, full-time minister position,
Full-time lawyer.
and does he go
student.
to the law school?
When they have the time to do that.
So there are so many issues around this matter.
Charlie?
And I think as a country, we need to actually audit the process properly and then find ways of plugging the loopholes. Because, better, for instance, there are many people we need in sensitive sectors of the economy. We are talking about artificial intelligence, for instance. If it is a critical tool that we need to advance our progress, the question is, have we identified that as such? And as a country, have we committed resources to say, okay, over the next 10 years, we are going to train 100 AI experts or specialists each in the UK or in the US on government scholarship. As we speak, the French are pumping so much money into training people in the area of artificial intelligence, and they are supporting the economy as such. If you go to the UK, there's a scholarship that has been announced purposely for training people in that space. So the question is, this scholarship scheme that we have, can we identify people within specific sectors which we believe will be useful for our purpose to grow the economy and dedicate the public purse to promoting those areas?
That is the question. That is the charge.
Hopefully, Bernard, the authority will check the issuance of scholarships also to people who don't eventually go to school.
Hey, that also happens?
Yeah. So scholarships were awarded, the persons took the monies, but they didn't show up in school.
Yeah.
Charlie, this fourth estate thing was serious.
I saw a few when I was there.
The scholarship is awarded. He travels to the country, but doesn't go to the school.
No.
So where does the money go?
In the chopper.
So they chop them most.
But isn't the money supposed to go straight to the school?
No, so they pay you stipend, but they
There's the
pay
school
to the
fees
school.
and then there's the
And they can't
stipend.
verify that you're not in school.
So you see, that is why, for instance, Chevening Scholarship, for instance, you are reporting to someone. There's someone, an officer on you.
All the time.
Every single month.
Checking
you are
your
filing-
grades.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you in school? Are you working?
Updating the person. And there are programs that are organized, I think 3 the last time I checked, that will bring all of you together.
Our
So
own
that-
is a buying scar.
I see. That is a way of auditing the system. But the question is, you have an embassy or high commission in these countries. So there should be someone there whose job it is to be policing.
Guys, what I think we should do is to get a copy of the draft law, which the MP spoke about, and look at how substantively different the scholarship authority would be
From the
secretariat. I think that's where this discussion should lead. So changing the law is a good start. So I feel like we need to grab it. Now, sure, Sky, you can use your sources to grab it for us. So thank you, Peter Notsu-Kotoe, for talking to us.